Well, a very good evening. Welcome to this edition of Breeding to Win. We're here at the Vineyard Hotel. It's been the Cape Breeders and the Racing Association Awards as well. Fantastic evening here, and full marks to the Vineyard Hotel. Done a fantastic job. The food has been absolutely spectacular, and also congratulations to all the award winners through both the owners and also the racing side of the awards dinners. Let's go straight into tonight's show. We're going to be concentrating on the 2-year-old sale up in Johannesburg, brought to you by Bloodstock South Africa. And let's take a look at what the 2-year-old graduates have been performing on in terms of the stage here. We've got some fantastic graduates. Let's catch up firstly with the Bloodstock South Africa 2-year-old commercial, and straight from there we'll go into the Ben Monet portfolio of their draw for the coming 2-year-old sale.
Monkshood is toying with them in the Gauteng Guineas. He shot 3 lanes clear. What a performance! Monkshood has won it by 6. It's a demolition job.
The Botha family's Ben Monet stud, a farm situated between Port Elizabeth and Jeffreys Bay, actually known as Blue Horizon Bay, was purchased by the late Ben Botha back in 1985. The farm is named in honor of each of the Botha family, and the name comprises the following components. Ben is for my father, M is for my mother Mari, who's still involved in the farm, and Ane is obviously for me. From a relatively small number of broodmares, Ben Monet has produced some top-class gallopers, notably the 2016 Grade 1 Taqueni Stakes Quarari Falcon, and the hugely talented Monkshood, now plying his trade in Hong Kong. Monkshood was just a 375,000 Rand purchase from the 2016 National Yearling Sale. He won or was placed in each of his 8 South African outings, recording wins in both the Grade 2 Gauteng Guineas and the Grade 2 Dingaans in the process. In winning these Grade 2 events, he smashed no fewer than 4 Grade 1 winners subsequently recorded. The Botha family's Ben Monet stud will be offering 8 lots. There is a wide diversity of progeny available from Ben Monet stud, all colts incidentally, and they include sons of Jackson, Pathfork, Futura, Captain Noir, Active War, Bold Silvano, and Global View, almost the full Monty. Iron Tail Lot 28 is a Pathfork colt out of the stakes-placed mare Amber Bouquet, which obviously makes him a half-brother to the aforementioned multi-millionaire Monkshood. To date, Amber Bouquet, a 3-time winner up to 1,400 meters, has been represented by 4 winners from as many runners. This is the family of multiple Grade 1 winning champions, Star Effort, formerly trained by Jeff Woodruff and a winner of the Colts Guineas, as well as the Daily News 2000. Lot number 178 is a Captain Noir colt out of a Jetmaster mare called Jet Park, herself a 3-time winner, and this includes the family of National Desire, Her Way, Agra, Parisian Chick, and goes all the way back to the Radical family of Fanciful and Cover Look. Lot number 138 is a son of Horse of the Year Futura. His name is Norbis. He's out of the Victory Moon mare Golden Pathway. He comes from the family of Savannah Queen and Follow the Falcon, multiple Group 1 winners themselves, and Arxer champion broodmare Pretty Falcon. This is an up and running live family with great potential. It also includes the Grade 1 winning filly, Quirari Falcon. Lot 4 is a son of Jackson and his name is Luke Moonwalker. He's out of the black Miniloosh mare Val Manouche. This is the family of Trademark and Superbrand, Eligible, Happy Birthday, Board Director. It's laden in black type and goes back to one of South Africa's greatest broodmares ever, Party Time. Lot number 250 is a flashy son of Pathfork out of the Slew the Red mare Mirror the Moon. His name is Moon Game. And Mirror the Moon, his mother won 3 races, was placed 8 times, is a half-sister to Bit of Bize, who is the dam of Knuckleball, who won 7 races in Zimbabwe. It's also the family of Luna Fields, herself winning 5 races, and Surveyor, a champion in his own right. It is also the family of Crescent Fields, Lord at War, and Amorous Moon. This is Moon Game, lot number 250. Lot number 266 is the aptly named son of Active War. His name is American Rocket and he's out of the Mutafal mare Music Affair. It's a very young family, but Music Affair herself won 4 races and goes all the way back to Diarissimo, Centred Royal, Sarissa, and a family of enormous black type volume. American Rocket by Dynasty's son, Active War, out of the Mutafal mare Music Affair. Lot number 305 is a colt called Bold Surrey by Bold Silvano out of the Albert Hall mare Queen's Hall. It's also a very young family, but grows back to Sivu Play, Water Player, Cody Bear, River Time, and Storm of the Wind. It's a very strong Canadian family laden with black type, and this is Bold Surrey, himself a son of Bold Silvano out of the Albert Hall mare Queen's Hall. Lot number 387 is called Global Tree by the Ascot stallion Global View, himself by Galileo, out of the classic flag mare Tree Flag. Tree Flag herself won 7 races and goes back to Mulberry Feast, the dam of Vacheron, the South African nursery winner, Sakara, Fields Forever, and Wild Blueberry. Here is a handsome son of Global View out of the classic flag mare Tree Flag, herself a 7-time winner. This is Global Tree. And so the entire team at Ben Marnay Stud, situated in the beautiful outcrop of Blue Horizon Bay, invite you to come and inspect their yearlings. We do it with pride, we do it with compassion, and we do it out of respect for the legacy of Ben Botha.
Well, a fantastic day in terms of the weather. Well, maybe not so much so at the Drakenstein Stallion Day. We took time with Breeding to Win team to go out to Drakenstein. We saw the highlight of their stallion portfolio with the newcomer there, Lancaster Bomber. Let's take you through the Drakenstein Stallion Day.
welcome everybody to the Stallion Day. We really appreciate all the support. So the big boy is rising in age now, but you know, it's often hard for a stallion when his best runner ends up overseas in Singapore Sling, and it's probably something that us breeders and owners are going to have to get used to, and we're going to have to learn how to judge these stallions with a lot of runners overseas as well. When he got a good one, he certainly did get a very good one in Singapore Sling, and we're extremely proud of raising that magnificent horse on this farm. You know, he's still now the sire of 38 stakes horses. I think we're going to see the influence of philanthropist come through his daughters. He's already the broodmare sire of a listed filly in America and Canada. You know, we really think that is where he will leave his mark. He's still available to use for shareholders and obviously outside breeders. That's the big boy, that's philanthropist. The next horse we are extremely excited about, for he's going to have his first crop of 2-year-old runners this season. There's no doubt that Futura was a spectacular racehorse. He was a 4-time Group 1 winner, and he's probably by the most commercial sire that's ever been in South Africa dynasty. Lest we not forget that this is one of very few horses that ever won the Queen's Plate and the Met in the same year. He also went on to win the Champions Cup twice. And it's remarkable to think that his Champions Cup win as a 3-year-old was run in a time 4 seconds faster than Rainbow Bridges this year. As I said, Futura's first crop of 2-year-olds are this season, and I wouldn't, based upon the 8 that we have here at Drakenstein that we're going to be putting in training, which are all fillies. You know, some of them have certainly surprised us by their strength, muscle, and a few of them certainly look precocious. His fee for 2019 is 12,000 live foal, and if ever there was a bargain, it's this one.
He's a horse I bought 3 or 4 of his progeny this year, and went to the farms this week and in the past week or so, and went to see what they look like, and they've done phenomenally well. We'll have 1 or 2 going on the ready to run sale, and he certainly looks to have thrown some quick early horses on the specimens at the sales that we've seen, and he was just a top class racehorse as well.
This horse is becoming a household name in South Africa. I guess his race record of 4 Group 1 winners and it being a champion sprinter is now slightly irrelevant, because as a sire he is really making his mark. There's no doubt that What a Winter is a future champion sire in the making. He's been extremely well supported by breeders. He's never covered less than 100 mares, and he's extremely well syndicated and well supported by breeders, and it's for good reason. He's currently got the highest rated 3-year-old filly in South Africa, a filly called Clouds Unfold, we're extremely proud of, who won the Open Majorca Stakes Group 1 in what was an exceptionally strong contest. He's also the sire of the last 3 Cape of Good Hope Nursery winners in Armando, Dutch Phillip and Clouds Unfold. And this year he also went to another level in siring Snow Report, who won the Langerman Stakes. He's once again proving highly popular with breeders. His book is full for 2019, and it's for good reasons. Yearlings have continually sold over R1 million, and this year was no different. Fee for this year is 75,000, and that is What a Winter.
Well, I've only got one huge favourite, and obviously that's What a Winter, simply because of the ties that I've had to him, and obviously his progeny that I've trained that have been really outstanding. I enjoy training them. He looks amazing today. I just said to Gavin and Kevin that every time I see him he looks better and better, and he really looks great this year. He's so beautifully made, and you know, he's got a proven track record out there, and I think he's the type of horse that will, I think, continue to improve if he gets the good mares. I mean, you can see what he's done already, and as I say, they're a pleasure to train, and they've got the most awesome temperaments, much like him.
This for us is an extremely exciting horse. This is a horse that is blessed with 3 important credentials: pedigree, performance and physique. I think we'll all agree that Gold Standard has done extremely well, having been retired to stud. Isn't he just the spitting image of his dad? He's certainly one of the best bred stallions at stud. He's by Trippy from a wonderful Olympic jewel family. As a winner of the Selangor Stakes in what was surely one of the hottest years in South African racing, he defeated future Cape Guineas winner William Longsword and future Cape Derby winner Eric de Vnans. In the Cape Guineas, he was the fastest finishing, no doubt, and was only beaten a half length by William Longsword. That day, he would go on to defeat Singapore Sling, as well as a host of other group performers. In the Met as a 3-year-old, he defeated Champion Stakes and July Cup winner Marinaresco, and at 15,000 Rand for this season, we think he's really, really excellent value, and I urge breeders to take a little bit of a risk, but support this horse. I think he'll deliver incredibly good-looking foals. His sire was one of the most commercial sires ever in South Africa, and there's no doubt this good-looking son of Trippy will do the same.
I can't believe how he's just filled out and really matured into what he's going to do. And I just had a couple of the guys come up to me and say, listen, we never sent him a mare last year. We're definitely going to do it this year because he just looks absolutely amazing.
Last year, we all looked at him and went, oh, horse off the track, let's wait and see. He didn't look like the same horse that walked in today. He definitely shades of his dad in him, so all goes well. Definitely a proposition now.
The magnificent Duke of Marmalade certainly needs no introduction to South African breeders and also European breeders. And what a start to his South African career he's had. Duke is currently the leading sire of 3-year-old stakes winners, 6. He has 3 more than any other active sire currently in South Africa. How could we possibly have asked for a better start to his stallion career? And what's exciting, his second and third crops are even bigger than his first crop. So better things to come for Duke of Marmalade. He's got 3 stakes placed, 2-year-olds already this season. And obviously we'd just like to thank the stakes winners that were bred by Main Chance, Gary and Jackie Jolliffe, Ridgemont Stud, and Fran Cowell. And for all the support that he's got from his shareholders, he really has been supported so beautifully by them over the last 5 years. He did exceptionally well in the sales ring this year, with a yearling filly selling for 3.2 million at CTS. We think he's extremely good value at 50,000 for this season, because surely things are only going to get better and stronger for him, as we've noticed with his progeny, just get better with age.
We've been very lucky. We've got Temple Graffin, and I see she's up for an award in Natal for champion 2-year-old, which is really kind of them. But she's a lovely filly, and as you know, he's already had 3 Oaks winners in South Africa, so that is fantastic for any stallion. And I think they're just going to get better as they get older. We've got a colt that broke the course record and holds course record now at Greyville on the Poly, and I think that this season he's going to be a serious horse. So lots to look forward to.
We're changing things around this year, for it has always been Trippy that has been the final stallion to come out, and it's for good reason. Trippy is still the #1 stallion here at Drakenstein, a firm favourite, one that is leaving his mark, both as a sire and certainly now as a broodmare sire as well. He's a sire this year of Chimichurri Run, a Group 1 sprinter bred off the farm, and he's now the broodmare sire of a Group 1 winner in Gabor. He is a legend here at Drakenstein as a foundation stallion, and we will try to hold on to as many daughters as we possibly can. He's adored here by everybody at Drakenstein. He's obviously only for shareholders' use this year, but we're still confident that Trippy will leave his mark, no doubt. We have some absolutely stunning foals by him, and yearlings still to go into training, so Trippy has not stopped yet. He is still coming, and coming strong.
Trippy, I think, is one of the best looking horses I've seen in my life. I've never known a stallion to throw a head in the eye like that in my lifetime. We try to collect Trippy mares, so I know he's old, but I've got a very, very soft spot for Trippy.
So to the reason we probably all came out here this afternoon, never before will a horse get so much support as this horse is going to get in his first crop. This is Lancaster Bomber. Blessed with incredible toughness and durability. Lancaster Bomber is by an emerging sire of sires in Warfront. Sire of already 75 stakes winners. He already has 10 sires at stud. If form is everything to base the sport on, and with a time form rating of 123, this is a colt to mark. He defeated 23 Grade 1 winners in Europe, including the likes of Churchill, the winner of the 2000 Guineas, Blue Point, who will surely be champion sprinter in Europe this year, and Thunder Snow, the winner of the Dubai World Cup twice. He won or placed in 8 Group 1s, including the Dewhurst Stakes at 2, the St James's Palace Stakes, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, the Breeders' Cup Mile, and in won the Tattersalls Gold Cup, in which he defeated Defoe, who went on to win the Coronation Stakes the year after. Lancaster Bomber is extremely well syndicated, and his book is full for 2019. And one just really interesting fact about him, and we almost feel it's a reason for him coming home, is that this is actually the family of Politician, one of the greatest horses ever in South Africa. That is Lancaster Bomber.
Lovely to see Lancaster Bomber for the first time in the flesh. Watched him as a racehorse every single time he ran, basically. Fantastic racehorse and a lovely pedigree and an awesome specimen as well. So always a fantastic group of stallions out here, and they looked in great nick, and very happy. Awesome day.
The horses, all of them, looked fantastic. If I had to pick one out that stood out, I think from last year, I think Gold Standard has matured incredibly nicely. But the horse I'm really excited about is the new chap. Lancaster Bomber, a phenomenal racehorse, and he's my type of horse. To me, he ticks the boxes. I like that kind of classic English thoroughbred, and he comes across as such to me. I'm very excited about him, and it'll be very interesting to see what he produces.
I think the stallions in the environment that it was presented themselves very well. I'd love for everybody to have seen their beautiful coats and their shiny, them looking shiny, but this is the winter in Cape Town and we can't complain about the rain. So we're obviously very grateful for the turnout, the support that all the breeders and owners and trainers show here to come out. It's a cold day, but I think everybody's going to have a good time, and so yeah, very happy, and just obviously a big thanks to all of them.
In life, timing is everything. Introducing Lancaster Bomber. The pride of British military might. In an illustrious career, he defeated 23 individual Group 1 winners. His kill count decorated on the side of the Bomber includes the winner of the 2000 Guineas, the Kingstand Stakes, the Dubai World Cup, the Coronation Stakes, the Sussex Stakes, the Queen Anne, the July Cup, and the Racing Post Trophy. The Bomber has landed. The time is now.
Well, Stallion Heavenly Blue stands out at Ascot Stud. Andrew Bond took time to watch his arrival there in the Port Elizabeth Stud. He's certainly a wonderful racehorse. He was trained by Mike de Kock. He's by Schnitzel. He's a beautiful, imposing grey, and he looks to set to have a very nice stud career indeed. Andrew Bond tells us more about Heavenly Blue.
The venue was originally set off as a sand track, but now has been grassed, and the very first race on the Vaal Classic track, Heavenly Blue about to take up position as Vaal makes history again. The new classic track, 1600 metres all set, and away and racing. Heavenly Blue's been asked to run down, kicks 2 to 3 lengths clear, and the superbly bred Heavenly Blue's going to open up his account in fine style.
Heavenly Blue has taken over the lead into the final 200 metres and shot 1 length clear of the shredder. Then comes Lotus Elan and Old Oak Tree is next, but Heavenly Blue looks to be out the top draw and gets stronger as the race goes on. Heavenly Blue wins. Lotus Elan second, then came the shredder and Old Oak Tree.
classic win by Heavenly Blue. Well done to Warren and Wendy Rippon. They're here on track today. To Mr. Arun and Mrs. Chada, to Mike de Kock and Larry Nestat. It's a 2.5, 3-length win for Heavenly Blue. Callan Murray represents a big Grade 1 win for him. It's down the inside. Heavenly Blue strikes the front in the classic, but with 150 to go, it's Heavenly Blue who's 2 to 3 lengths clear of Elsa Hem, and it's going to provide Mike de Kock with a classic double at Turpentine. Heavenly Blue.
Mike, a wonderful turnout this morning and a fantastic idea by Dr. Ashley Parker, who hasn't exactly been devoid of the Midas touch over years.
Yeah, I thought it was a great idea, given the turnout. Yeah, I mean, I've never seen it done before, so one's sort of apprehensive as to whether it'll work or not, but he clearly knows his business. A great idea, and it's a unique chance to get so many breeders and or checkbook breeders, what have you, together, and to see the horse, walk it up and down, measure it as some of them like to have done.
The most important thing is the future. Money's important, but the emotional joy of winning. I saw it in your son's face, and it was a very, very special moment given the history of Heavenly Blue, where you acquired him in Australia, and all the preparation that went into getting him.
Yeah, for sure. And it's nice to see a plan come together, if you want.
And just thanks to all the owners for the support to me, because when my dad's away, it's hard to carry on supporting us.
We're always hoping to win that Group 1. We're always buying that youngster thinking, wow, this is the one. I was there actually buying horses for Sheikh Hamdan and kept on catching my eye every time I walked in a barn. And the one day, it was JJ, myself and John, I said, listen, let's just get this horse out and let's have another look at him. And he wasn't your typical schnitzel. He wasn't the one the Australians like. He was tall, leggy, didn't look the type, So he makes, I think, 180,000 not sold. So we then went to John Massara and said, look, what do you want? I said, I want 200. JJ said, hey, listen, I'll get on the phone to Larry. I said, I'll give Warren and Arun a call. Let's go. 200 not a lot for a schnitzel. But he wasn't your typical slipper schnitzel as the Australians like to have. What the hell, let's take a crack at 200,000. Schnitzels are going $1.5 million all around him. And there was nothing wrong with this horse except he wasn't their type. They like, the short couple, big backside. Looks like he's going to win next week. He won his first 2 for us, won very, very well.
Heavenly Blue's been asked to run now and kicks 2 to 3 lengths clear. Shotgun Riders out the pack with Blazing Winter further back to Sideshow, but it's Heavenly Blue that's kept 3 lengths clear, and the superbly bred Heavenly Blue's going to open up his account in fine style.
Clearly the potential was there, but then started to get plagued a little bit with injury on the near 4. Chipped a knee as a youngster, did the op, came back from it. Then, the debacle of Cape Town when we went down for the Met when him and Cascapedia got so sick, whatever they got. Never really right since, and then chipped again. So then I just said, you know what, there's just so much you can do with a horse. You can't keep forcing things. It's just not right. It's just not kind. And let's take a decision. It's a tough game now. trying to make a sire. I mean, Ashley is one of the good hotels to start, I think, with the mares and the expertise that he has. But it's a tough old game, and we're 5%. Nobody knows who's going to make it. Tipping stallions is impossible, in my opinion. You're a 5% shot. So, here we are. We'll take a crack at it. Fortunately, there's some very passionate people in this country, and you'll get a chance.
I think the stars have aligned themselves beautifully, because obviously with Bold Silvano's fertility issues, with Sale from Seattle having passed away, I mean, it hasn't exactly been the most unlucky stud in the world for producing stallions. I mean, Al Mufti speaks for himself. Kilconnell was a very good stallion, and obviously they've got this horse called Global View now, so great company to be in.
For sure. One thing about Ashley is he's not resting on his laurels. He knows you can have a champion stallion today, and if you don't keep replacing, because you can't just think that stallion's going to be alive forever. When he's gone, you're gone. No horse, no stud. You know how it is. At the end of the day, he's replacing, he's replenishing. As you said, he's got Global View. He actually has got the genetics on his farm still. I believe he must have a day's work of Al Mufti mares, who will still be of great influence to the breed. So he's starting in the right place. If he can't make it there, well, then he was never going to make it. Anyway.
One final question, Mark. We've seen the likes of Jetmaster, Captain Al, great South African racehorses go to stud. It's a very big advantage, and we know that horses like Duke of Marmalade are, in all probability, going to make it big time because of the international and their pedigree. But a true blue South African horse is a great way to start.
Well, if one just looks back at Argentinian breeding, and in my opinion, the great days of Argentina, when they bred with the sons of their champion racehorses in that country. Sometimes we think, from overseas is better. Not always. And even if one looks at the shuttle horses in Australia, yes, they came in and did okay, but it's generally been their successful sons that have taken it to another level. So I think there is definitely something in standing a horse with that raced in the local conditions. We're lucky here that we have a horse with an international pedigree. He's got a lot of American female line in him, El Prado. So there's a hell of a lot there, that people can play around with matings and all that kind of thing. And how much emphasis is played on stallions there. Whereas, you'd feel nothing to go a very well-bred yearling, or somebody just gets beaten again, you think, what the hell, that should have won. Zhup, the nuts are out, you know what I mean? These days you think twice, because you actually do realize the value of an animal out there, and what they're worth to the breed.
Well, fresh off his victory as champion freshman sire, captain of all, well, he's taken the tracks by storm. He's got a whole host of individual winners as well, and he just narrowly accounted for Vercingetorix in the champion freshman sire category. Let's find out a little bit more about the stallion, captain of all.
Listen, I've got a couple. I'm very, very happy. I've got a half-sister to that horse, Priceless Ruler, that won on the weekend, belonging to the Kiesvetters. I've got a colt for Dave Shaw that actually he didn't buy him for me, but Gilly and I had given him 2 stars. Very nice horse. And Jill and Pete Demarini's little filly ran 3rd the other day. Very happy. Looking for a bit further. You can tell Johnny, at this stage, I'm very happy with him.
What you are is really, really honest filly out of captain of all. I've had the chance to ride her a few times now. She was very, very unlucky in the Alan Robertson Group 1 where she got turned sideways the last 150 meters at such a vital stage of the race, and I honestly believe that she could have won that race. She won her next start very, very easy, and her last start in the Group 2 moved through the field really easy in my hands. She's a very nice filly, and just got touched off. She got beat half a length by the stable companion, which they did think there was a very nice filly. So yeah, she's a filly that's done really well, and nice big action for us. Not a very big filly, but very well put together filly, and really easy to ride. I think she's a filly that could get away with a mile, but I think her best distance is probably a 12 or 14 at the moment, but she's obviously going to go for a stab at that mile on Gold Cup Day, and we'll see how she goes there.
I was in my early 20s, I think, when the first Al Muftis got to the sales ring, when I was walking around there with my dad and, you know, seeing them. And obviously the old man bought a hell of a bunch of them, you know, in his first season. So they've made a huge impression on me and the way, in which I look at horses. And Al Mufti stamped them through Captain Al. I mean, the Captain Al's look very much like the Al Muftis. And I see exactly the same type of shape in the Captain of Alls. I mean, we've been lucky to, I think we secured 5 of them in his first season, of which a couple hasn't run yet, but obviously we've had great success with What You Are and Captain Morgan. We've gone back and invested heavily again this season. So I think we got 4 or 5 of them from sales so far this year. I think really in the mold of Al Mufti. It doesn't look like he throws his leg. He throws a perfectly conformed horse with great shape, great athleticism, and very, very good balance. Look, I think he'll just build on his first season. He's having a cracking first season, so it can only build from here. And I think the quality of mare he'll get will just improve as it goes. I really think that Al Mufti legacy is shining through and through all of them,
One of the new kids on the block are Tin Einderstad. Now, they're based out in Swellendam. They've got a wonderful broodmare band, and we took time to go out and visit their establishment. Now, you think of the likes of Joe's Bond and a couple of other really well-bred Captain Al fillies. They're going to be a stud to be recognised with, certainly in the upcoming years. And Tin Einderstad out in Swellendam. Let's take a look at what they've got on offer.
It's lovely to be here at Ten Einderstad this morning. It's my first visit, and what a pretty farm based in Swellendam. And Hein Muller is with me this morning to have a chat about what's going on here on the farm. With breeding season around the corner, much excitement is brewing. Hein, thank you very much for having us here this morning.
Thank you for being here. Thank you so much.
What a pretty farm. I haven't been before, and I'm blown away. It's so pretty, and you've got a lovely little English cottage that you live in, and of course this beautiful farmhouse. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, we were very fortunate to acquire it about 2 years ago. A lot of work has gone into it. It wasn't in the state it is now, but having a lovely time and enjoying Swellendam very much.
And you were in Stilbaai before you came to Swellendam?
Yes, I was Rita Scroll's neighbour at the Kutjube's farm, and that's basically where we started. We bought our first mares from Rita Scroll many years ago, about 9 years ago now.
And Swellendam's obviously a little bit better based for you in terms of getting to stallions and other stud farms.
Definitely. I use mostly Clover Flay stallions, but also Main Chance, Highlands, Richmond, Vosfontein. So it makes my travel time and the stress on the mares just so much less.
And you've got some really lovely mares here. One of them's Joe's Bond, who we saw in the paddock this morning, but you've got some due to foal down any moment. Yes,
I've got 3 that's due today. 2 Captain L mares, one is free fall, in fall to Wada Winter. Tempest, who's in fall to Royal Moe, and then a 7th Rock mare, Galileo Bloodline, in fall to Canford Cliffs, due today. So exciting night shift. Yeah, very exciting, and then it really gets going, and then we sort of move down, further down the paddocks, and you've got some more foals that are due also next month. Yes, as I say, my Captain L paddock, another 3 of them standing there. 2 very exciting mares, Joe's Bond, one of them, in fall to Twice Over, 2 or 3 weeks away, and then Pure Power in fall to Wada Winter as well. So very, very exciting. And we also got to look at the weanlings, the fillies and the colts, and you look to have 2 really nice bunches there, and obviously hoping to get on book 1 in January with those. Yes, Mr. John Costa from Clover Flay and Linton, Ryan is coming out tomorrow to help me select, and I'm hoping for about 5 out of the 12 to make it for the book 1, yeah. That'll be fantastic. Now, all these mares are owned by yourself. John Costa's also involved. But it's just lovely to have such a sort of family business here. Yeah, very nice. As they say these days, we try to be a boutique farm. Really nice, strong mare pedigrees, and then obviously with the top sires that we're using. We're not breeding numbers, we're trying to breed quality. Absolutely, that's the way to go. And your brother's involved very much so as well, Stefan. He's here this morning. He's involved in the farm, and obviously your family are all behind you and interested. Yes, very much so. My brother Stefan has also got a few mares of his own and very involved at all the sales. The people must have seen him a few times. Very exciting, and we enjoy it very much. And Rosenbloom, she's just arrived here. She's finished her racing career. She ran last on July Day. I see she's a bit of an apple in your eye. You love her. She's standing right in front of the house, very, very excited. The plan for her for this year, first sire, will be William Longsword. Very excited. Beautiful, beautiful filly, and we hope for the best for the future for her. Yeah, she is a lovely filly, and she's done really well on the track, and she looks to be enjoying life out here on the farm already. She settled in very nicely. She walked in, had a bit of a look around, and just settled in. Not a single problem with her. Very happy where she is. And you've sold yearlings from this farm before. You've sort of done with your last ones. Now you're looking forward to the next batch. Going forward, you just hope to breed better and better and get into the top sales. Yes, definitely. I've got a couple of the top mares that I've mentioned. There's 1 or 2 of the weanlings. But from this batch, hopefully this year, in the next 2 years, we'll have a draft of fairly strong foals for the yearling sales, yes. And looking at your facilities, wonderful. You've got a lovely new barn with lovely big boxes for foaling and lovely paddocks. Yeah, I went around, I drive all my mares myself, so I visited most of the top farms in the country, and I stole with my eyes. I had a good look at what works and what does not work. I was fortunate in that regard to then develop and build my farm to things that I've learned and saw that works. So I'm fortunate and very happy. And your staff, they look pretty special this morning. You've got a nice band of staff. They're all very busy and hard at work. Yeah, very nice. I've also lucky again, I don't have a big band of staff. I've got 4 of them here. So we work hard, but they love it. They love the animals, and they really take good care of the horses. I'm fortunate in that regard as well. And when it comes to foaling down, you'll obviously be hands-on yourself, but you've got a good team when it comes to that and staying up all night. Yes, very much so. If I'm not here by any chance, they have caught foals by themselves, so I'm relaxed in that sense. but I prefer to be there myself. It's probably the most exciting for me of the whole business is being there when they're born. So yeah, the next 2 or 3 months I'll be sitting up at night and waiting for them to arrive.
Yeah, very, very exciting times. And stallions, who excites you the most on the stallion front?
Well, me and my brother have been sitting for the last week or so trying to plan this season. Very, very excited about William Longsword. Very happy about Captain of All, who's the freshman sire, champion freshman sire for this year. We're shareholders in both of them. I'm very excited about Royal Mo. I'm also a shareholder in Royal Mo, and we're going to be supporting him strongly this year. Vercingetorix, Master of My Fate, and Twice Over. Those are my top ones, and those are the ones that I'll be using this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? It's a very good, strong band of stallions. Well, we're going to come back and visit you around October time, when hopefully you'll have your selections ready for the sales, and we look forward to chatting to you again then. But thank you very much for having us here this morning. It's been wonderful seeing the farm and great stock.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate it, and I can't wait for you to be here again.
Thank you very much. Well, it was my first time here at Ten Einde Stud, and I loved every moment of it. What a pretty farm, what beautiful mares and stock in the paddocks. We really enjoyed our morning, and we'll be back here in October.
We're going to end the show with the Racing Masters. What a fantastic event held out at the Wild Coast. Well done to Graham Hawkins and his team, Desiree and Phil Georgia, all putting it together. A host of guys coming from around the country, from both Cape Town, Joburg, Durban, even a couple of the guys from Port Elizabeth, to feature in what is a really good end of season social gathering, accompanied by a bit of golf. There's a Ryder Cup format as well, and the Breeding to Win team were out there at the Wild Coast, and they bring you some of the highlights, the lowlights, and some of the good fun shots had by all the guys that participated in the golf day. Congratulations to Kevin Shea, the winner of the green jacket for 2019. Well, a fantastic 2019 Racing Masters here at the Wild Coast. A couple of new inceptions. We had a bit of a Ryder Cup. We had obviously a whole host of competitions. Graham, firstly, well done. It's I don't know what number it is of the Racing Masters, but they seem to go from strength to strength.
Yeah, this year was our 25th anniversary. That's a good track record. We started in 1994. This is 2019, but we did miss 1 year if you encountered them inclusive. It should have been 26, but there was one gap year. But it's been fantastic. It's been great to welcome everybody back to the Wild Coast. The weather has just been unbelievable. Hardly any wind, glorious sunshine for 2 days. KwaZulu-Natal winters at their very best.
Speaking of KwaZulu-Natal, they would have had a bit of a home course advantage here, but the Cape Eagles came through with a big, strong team. They really brought a strong contingent through with them, and they emerged victorious.
Yeah, well, your jockeys can't do it, so obviously the golfers are better at playing golf than the jockeys are at riding, but no, I'm only teasing, you know that. Yeah, we brought in the Ryder Cup this year, interprovincial competition between the Cape Eagles, the Highveld Hawks and the KZN Falcons, the same names that we've given to the three jockeys teams in the New Turf Carriers Jockeys Interprovincial. It brought a nice element to the first day's play, and congratulations, well done. Captain of the Cape Eagles. It was close, it went to the wire, but a couple of points you edged out the KZN Falcons with the Highveld Hawks in third spot. But it was a new innovation this year just to create more hype, more friendly rivalry, and I think it worked.
I certainly think it worked as well. I think the guys and the clubhouse environment last night was just second to none.
Well, I remember part of the early part of the evening, but I don't remember too much of the later part of the evening. Mike de Kock threw me a nice curved ball. I asked him for he offered me a drink. I said, well, I'll have a single Jameson and soda. What I got was a single soda with a whole lot of Jameson. Thereafter, things went a little bit pear-shaped, but I can tell you this, on a serious note, it was a wonderful evening, wonderful party. And, you know, there are so many challenges facing racing, and we hope we get over those challenges. But to see the guys just forget about all that just for a couple of nights. Not that we don't take those challenges seriously, but just to forget about that for a couple of nights. Join forces. We've got people from the Eastern Cape, from the Western Cape, from the middle of the country, from the Highveld, from KZN, and just joining arms and having a great time. It's just so nice to see, and a wonderful way to bring the curtain down on champion season each and every year.